But uitskwel siem sia siem na sochwen ein thu hanquithia staniet stanaimo. Nanua uitskwalo in itna stala tanaquel. Icona si lam nama siatala. Good day, everybody. My name is Erralyn Thomas. I come from Snuneymuxw First Nation. I have good feelings in my heart today to be here with you guys to share such an important topic, women in leadership. That's not only integral to First Nations communities, but everybody at large. Aboriginal, non-Aboriginal, Caucasian, African American, Indian, whatever the case is. The issues might be a little bit different based on the context, but it's definitely an integral concept to each and every one of us. As I said, I come from Snuneymuxw First Nation, which is in Nanaimo, British Columbia. It has a population. We have a population of 1,600 people in our territory. I have 2 nieces and a nephew, mother and father, currently separated. I have cultural rights, community rights, and as well regular social rights as a citizen, contributing to society, paying my taxes, all that kind of good stuff. I'm currently the BCFN Youth Rep. I've been here for 2 years. I'm the National Youth Council Executive for the Assembly of First Nations. I've been on that post for a year now. Essentially what these 2 positions do, same thing as the Surrey City Councillor, same thing as Mayor Diane Watts, is bringing that voice to the forefront and addressing our issues and bringing solutions to those issues. Not just complaining about it, but proffering a solution and steps to get there that not only the youth can do in their communities, we have 203 communities in BC, First Nation communities, but also what we can do as provincial reps and national reps to help make their life a little bit easier. When I first got this position, I'll share a little story. Our elders always share stories, I guess it's passing on to myself. But in AFN, we had our meeting, First Nations Crown Relations meeting with PM Harper and all of his cabinet ministers and executives. They brought the National Youth Council there as well, the executive and the co-chairs. And it was a bit of an intense situation. Emotions were flying high. Everybody had interests there. Everybody was being protected with their views and not really stepping out of bounds. There came a moment where 2 interests came to collide within our own National Youth Council, where it became lateral, person on person, and not on the issue anymore. And this happened to be directed at myself as an executive from an employee in the area. This individual had freaked out on me in front of everybody, PM Harper's employees, in front of the building, and I didn't know what to do. It was my first time as a woman in leadership and being treated in that way and feeling like a crumb, maybe even smaller than a crumb. And automatically I stood right back up and I was like, no, I'm not taking this. I think it might be my athletic ambition or that discipline or that heart and that drive that athletics instills within people who play sports. So I automatically went to my support. I went to Regional Chief Jody Wilson-Raybould. I went to our staff. I went to my colleagues who I have political support with on the National Youth Council. And I got us all together and kind of said, you know, this is what happened, not feeling bad in what I was experiencing, but taking it as a moment of growth for all of us. Not making a personal bash right back at him, just making the issue worse, but saying like, how can we work on this together, bringing it back to the issues and not on the people. And I think that's where women in leadership, women in general kind of fall subservient. It's this historical view from men, from organizations, from corporations, from the law even, that has this view on women that we're not capable of critically thinking or moving at a fast rate or making that merger and acquisition between 2 corporations. So anyway, that's a bit of my background information. So why are we here? like I have alluded to it a few moments ago. For First Nations in the 1950s, we couldn't vote. Canada, as a colony, disenfranchised us all the way up to that. Not only women, but a whole population of people. Now we can vote. We have nation-to-nation relations with Canada. We all went through our growing pains, as you could say. We're here to address our fundamental issues, child welfare. In Aboriginal communities, 51% of children are being taken away from their communities. We're the fastest growing population, yet 55% are graduating with secondary education, with a Dogwood diploma. 21% in jails, in prisons, are Aboriginal people. Yet we are 5% of the overall population. Violence against women that we heard earlier, missing and murdered women, that whole chain of inquiries, I think there's up to 600 that have been brought up to light. Suicide in our communities in the coastal, west coast and on the island, there's an increasing amount of young people, women, Aboriginal, who are taking their own lives. They're seeing at that point, they're just letting go and saying they're not good enough. This is just to give us an idea of what I'm bringing to the table, that I feel I'm offering something of use to you guys. This is the picture that we're dealing with when we talk about women in leadership when it comes to Aboriginal women, First Nations, Inuit, or Métis. Promoting women in leadership at the AFN, the Assembly of First Nations, National Chief works with the Women's Council. That's the 20-member council of women all over the province. At AFN, we have a National Youth Council where we have 2 seats for each province, 1 male, 1 female. There's gender balance there. The Women's Council is the first to come to the table and argue gender balance with anything AFN does. I don't know if National Chief likes it, but it's good. So I guess I'll end with this, wrapping up with my few last my comments. As Aboriginal young people, I'm only 27. I've only been on this earth for a short period of time. And it's an honor to come here to be with you guys. And I recognize the territory of Semiahmoo First Nation and as well as the Surrey City Council and the Mayor and that the relations here are congenial and working and all that great stuff. But as Aboriginal women, we walk in 2 worlds. We have this modern world and we have this world back at home in our 203 communities. What's leadership in this modern world isn't leadership in our world, in our communities. Leadership in our communities is the ceremonial rites that we have when we turn 8, that we turn 13. That's the form of leadership that we have. When are we going to go sing those songs for this family who's in mourning or this other family who is showing a picture? In the modern society, leadership is not necessarily an elected position, but I would venture cautiously to say it starts at a later time and age as opposed to earlier with Aboriginal people. So with that, I'll leave you with those comments. I know I went over a little bit. I just had so many things to say. But the offer is open. Anybody who wants to work together or have a discussion or whatever. So I say, Thank you.